I love your movie.
I was too excited. I had too much going on, man. You even missed the beginning of the intro. But man, we're here. We're breaking the news. Everything is good in Chi-Town for the most part as of this moment, but the future still has a lot of questions. It is reported the Chicago Bears have fired Luke Getsy as offensive coordinator and are retaining Matt Eberflus for the 2024 season per Ryan Poles in the Chicago Bears organization. There's a lot that goes into this. There's a lot of mixed feelings. There's a lot of people that feel a certain type of way about Matt Eberflus retaining his job. There's other people who believe that he deserved it after what we saw from the ending of the 2024 or 2023-2024 season. I'm going to sit up here today, man. Listen, at the end of the day, I love that Getsy's out of the building because it's finally time to celebrate. The guy is gone. The guy ran 6 straight plays against the Green Bay Packers and made us look a fool for 2 whole seasons. 34 games I had to watch this man as the offensive coordinator of Justin Fields, and Justin Fields couldn't get over 3,000 yards. I mean, is a part of that, I feel sure, but today we're here. We're just breaking it down. Listen, it's very unorthodox. This is very all over the place. We got some breaking news, so we're just going to break that down as it continues. But for the real fans, for the guys who have been fans for 30, 40, 50 plus years, you understand that this doesn't mean a lot, unfortunately. Unfortunately, this doesn't mean everything. I'm happy Luke Getsy's gone. Don't get it twisted. I mean, it's a blessing. The fact that I am blessed that my GM and my organization actually did their due diligence and fired somebody who deserved to be fired is something that shouldn't be said, but it is. I'm excited, man. I'm happy he's gone, but here's the problem. Here's the problem. Here's something that I don't think we're ready to talk about, because when you fire somebody, you have to hire somebody. And when you have to fucking hire somebody that's better than the guy you fired. Throughout the Chicago Bears history, and especially over the last 15 to 30 years, the Bears have not done their due diligence at hiring a competent, experienced, legitimate offensive coordinator. You got to hear the words coming out of my mouth. All of those words that come with that are very important. They hire first-time guys more times than not. Quarterback coaches, offensive coordinators in college. They hire, wide receiver coaches, experienced guys who have been in the league, but never guys who have been NFL coordinators and had success. That's the problem. So here's my thing right now. If you're going to sell me on Matt Eberflus was a good coach, okay, fine. But I'm going to sell you on the fact that these are statements that I'm about to make that are true. He went over 365 days without a calendar win. He started his Bears career as the head coach 3-19, 0-9 in the division. He won 5 of his last 8 games against subpar teams and the Detroit Lions. Now, he did beat the Detroit Lions, who won the division, so that's great. But is that the Green Bay Packers? I don't think so. So we really don't care. We really don't. In my Cat Williams mode, we really don't care. No. Stop it. We don't care. That's where I'm trying to get at, though. So 5 games were great. You know what I mean? We saw the defense actually come together in Montez Sweat, and obviously bringing in guys like Tyreek Stevenson, TJ Edwards, Tremaine Edmonds, et cetera, et cetera. That's great. But what are we going to be as an offense? When you hire a defensive-minded guy as your head coach, I always talk about the revolving door. There is always going to be a revolving door of offensive coordinators for several reasons. Here's the first one. So let's say we bring in a new offensive coordinator. You bring in a new offensive coordinator and he's dog shit. All right, let's get the easy one out of the way. He's dog shit. So you fire him 2 years later. Okay, no problem. But let's say we get one that works. Let's say you bring in Eric Bieniemy. Let's say you bring in one of the best offensive-minded coordinators in the entire league. Okay. So then 2 years later, he's going to get a head coaching opportunity. He's going to take it because anybody would. So he gets an offensive coordinating opportunity or in Chicago, and then he gets a head coaching job and leaves. So anything he built in Chicago is now gone, just like Brian Daboll on the Buffalo Bills, just like Ben Johnson in Detroit. You know what I'm saying? Just like what's going on with the Philadelphia Eagles. Their offensive coordinator leaves, becomes the head coach of the Indianapolis Colts. The Eagles look like a shell of themselves. The only thing they got going on is a tush push. That's where I'm at. Like, what are we going to do? Now, did we have to go out there and get Jim Harbaugh? No, you didn't have to do that. You could have got Ben Johnson. You could have got Eric Bieniemy. You could have got Jim Harbaugh. You could have got a bunch of other guys. It wouldn't have been a problem. But as long as he was offensive minded, I don't think I would have had a problem with it. That's really where I'm at with it, man. I mean, okay, so you keep Justin Fields. Let's say we keep Fields for the sake of argument. Let's say we keep him. This will be his fourth offensive coordinator in 4 years. Jay Cutler had 8 in 6. 8 offensive coordinators in 6 seasons. You're going to look at Justin Fields, who now has Matt Nagy, Bill Lazor, Luke Getsy, and whatever bozo, most likely, he might not be a bozo, but most likely whatever bozo they hire next. That is a problem. That is a problem. And not even going to talk about the biggest problem out of all of it. We're going to go through everything. We're going to break down all these topics and more, but we're going to go through we're going to skim through it real quick. So let's say, for the sake of argument, you keep Matt Eberflus for 2024. I was just talking to some of my buddies about this. It's true. We understood back in 2020 that it was Matt Nagy's final year as the Chicago Bears head coach and likely Ryan Pace's final year as the general manager. So here's what you're going to potentially do here. In that final year, the Chicago Bears organization allowed them to draft another quarterback. So here's what you'll do. You're going to give Matt Eberflus a final year, and then you're going to draft Caleb Williams, or you're going to draft Drake May, or you're going to draft Jaden Daniels or quarterback. Shit, after the performance we saw on Monday night, I wouldn't be surprised if Matt Eberflus was like, dude, that Michael Penix kid, that's exactly what the Bears need right now. Yeah, I'm sure you'd love that. Poor quarterback play. Love it. But they're going to draft a quarterback in 2024 and then be fired at the final end of 2024. So then the next head coach that comes in didn't draft Caleb Williams, didn't draft Drake May, didn't draft Jaden Daniels. And it's the same situation of Matt Eberflus coming in, Ryan Poles coming in, and Justin Fields is already in the building saying hello. That's a problem. Now, is that going to happen? I don't know. But it's all scenarios that are likely possible. You need guys who are going to be here. Now, I can't sit up here today and tell you what this team is going to look like because I don't even know what's happening with Justin Fields. That's one of the bigger problems. And if you guys are new here, I appreciate you guys for being here. Appreciate you guys for tuning in for the breaking news. Hit that follow button if you haven't already. It definitely does help us out a lot. I see we got over 55 people on the TikTok. We only got 8 people on Facebook. So I appreciate everybody who's tuned in so far. I'm sorry if I sound negative. I do want to say that I am sorry if I sound negative. But, you have to talk to yourself and be realistic. You have to be realistic. Oh, my God. Flus had a great second half. 5-8. 5-8. 5 of his last 8. Okay, that's not bad. One was the Arizona Cardinals, so we're going to take that into account. The other was the Atlanta Falcons, so we're going to take that into account. You know what I'm trying to say here? Like, I'm not trying to be negative. I'm not trying to be that guy. But when you have these conversations, you have to look at the entire board. You have to. I mean, let's be real here. We beat the Falcons, We beat the Cardinals. We beat the Vikings. We beat the Lions. The Lions was a quality win. Don't get that twisted. Don't get that misconstrued. I'm not going to take that away from us. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, I love that we beat them. Oh, and of course, we beat the Panthers. So what are we talking about? That's the problem. We're going to talk about beating the Carolina Panthers, who just got us the number 1 overall pick, the Arizona Cardinals, who have a top 4 pick, and then you beat the Atlanta Falcons, who not only got dropped by 48 points, thanks to Jameis Winston, but fired their head coach immediately after. Then you beat the Minnesota Vikings without Justin Jefferson. Okay, and without Kirk Cousins. So what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we really doing? What did we accomplish? You beat the Detroit Lions, who got a little cocky towards the end. So let's talk about it. What did we really do? The defense led the league in interceptions. Shout out to them. The defense is one of the best run-stopping defense in the league. Shout out to them. That's great. But I'm not hiring you as the defensive coordinator of this team. You hear what I'm saying? You comprehend what I'm saying? Like, if I was just judging Flus off of his job as a defensive coordinator the second half of the season and the entirety of the season, I'd say shout out to him. Shout out to him. God bless. Guy's great. But you're not the defensive coordinator of this team. You are the head coach of the Chicago fucking Bears. So I'm going to hold you accountable. You started the year 0-6. You went 365 days plus without a calendar win. You started your Bears tenure 3-19 as a coach. You're 0-9 in the division up until that win against the Detroit Lions and the Minnesota Vikings. So what am I going to sit up here and do? Clap? You want me to do backflips in my room, butt ass naked, running down the block, running down LSD? I don't know. Talk to me. What do you want? Like, what do you want? What do you want from me as a fan? Because I'm not going to sit up here today and say, oh my God, Flus is back. Yeah, this is it. This is it. This is it. Like, we're going over the top. Because, like I've said, history's past. What offensive coordinator are we hiring? What proven today? I want everybody in the chat. 61 people on TikTok. Got a bunch of people here on Facebook right now. Let me ask you this. What experienced, legitimate, proven offensive coordinator is going to take an offensive coordinating job as the Chicago Bears OC right now in the league? Because Ben Johnson wants to be a head coach. Eric Bieniemy probably wants to be a head coach. Jim Harbaugh ain't leaving Michigan after winning the national championship to be the offensive coordinator of the Chicago fucking Bears. So, who's coming? Who's the savior? Who's the Messiah? You gonna bring in the OC out of Miami? Why would he leave Miami? Why would he leave something that already worked? You hear what I'm saying? Like, I get it. My content, maybe you're listening to this and you're like, man, this is kind of boring. Well, yeah, so is this hire. So is keeping it. Like, what are we talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of shit that goes on in this organization that flies because we love our team. Chicago fans do this thing where no matter what the organization does, people are going to show up. People are going to show up and they're going to show out. They're going to ride their colors, man. They're going to wear their White Sox gear. They're going to wear their Cubs gear, Bulls, Blackhawks, Bears, Sky, everything. We're going to represent no matter what because that's who we are. But the problem with that is by doing that, you let shit slide. You're letting guys like Jerry Reinsdorf just be competent with doing nothing. You let guys like Tom Ricketts feel free to not make a big splash in free agency, to not sign a Shohei Ohtani to $700 million. You make guys like the McCaskey family feel okay with not winning a division more than twice every 10 years. not having a playoff win in over a decade. Like, those are all problems. Don't sit here and act like they're not. So when you tell me today, Matt Eberflus is back, aren't you happy? No, I'm not. Because one of three things is going to happen. They're going to keep Justin Fields and Matt Eberflus together and never hire an offensive coordinator that makes this offense work. And it's going to just be like the tenured with Matt Nagy. We're going to be 8-9. Like my guy Jay in the comments just said, we're going to be 8-9. We're going to maybe make the playoffs as a wild card, but we're never going to win. We're never going to win because our offensive coordinator doesn't develop. Our offensive coordinator doesn't know what he's doing. He's not experienced. So with that, you can have that first one, or you can have this second one. Matt Eberflus is going to draft a quarterback. He's going to draft Caleb Williams. And then at the end of the 2024 season, just like with Matt Nagy and Justin Fields, Matt Eberflus is going to be fired. So then Caleb Williams will be going into year 2 with his second head coach and likely a different offensive coordinator. Or the third option, and this one's my personal favorite. You're going to move on from Matt Eberflus after 2024, which means Justin Fields in 5 years, if he's retained by the Chicago Bears, will be on his 5th offensive coordinator and his 3rd head coach. So those are all things that could be true. Now, there's a fourth option. The Chicago Bears go on a tear and win a fucking Super Bowl. That's possible. Hey, we ain't all negative on this pod, baby. We speak things into existence. There is a shot that Ryan Poles builds a championship caliber roster, but you can build a championship caliber roster, but do you have the personnel to take them there? That's always been the question. Listen, I'm going to drop some names, and these are all guys that I believe are valid. Tevin Jenkins, Darnell Wright, Justin Fields, DJ Moore, Cole Kmet, potentially Khalil Herbert. Then you look on the defensive side of things, and the list gets a lot longer. Tremaine Edmonds, TJ Edwards, Montez Sweat, Andrew Billings, Javon Dexter Sr. I mean, you look at that secondary, man, and everybody's valid other than Eddie Jackson. Jaquan Brisker, Jalen Johnson, Tyreek Stevenson, Kyler Gordon, Jack Sanborn. They're all valid. Hell, even Eddie's valid to some degree. Not a long term, but if you want to ride some bench, that's fine. You can't tackle a fucking chair. Since 2019. 2018, the man's Ed Reed. 2019, looks like Chris Conte. What are we talking about? You know, like 2019 and beyond, the man's Chris Conte. Listen, I get it. You guys, we were excited for the news that there was news. Because, you make it through, Black Friday. You make it through Saturday, Sunday. You make it through Black Monday. But, like, what are we doing? I don't know. You're going to tell me today that this is real change? They didn't change anything. You got the same guy sitting up here. I got nicknames for everybody in the locker room. I got nicknames for everybody. I don't give a fuck. I got a nickname for you. Jagoff. Get out of here, bro. I mean, what do you want? You know what I mean? You're going to continue doing what you do best as an organization if you're the McCaskey family. You praise yourself on the Walter Payton way, the 85 Bears, the monsters of the Midway, the punch them in the mouth, smash mouth football. I love it, baby. Cool, bro. Cool. Okay, fine. Bro, it's 2024. The smash mouth football era is raps. The running through a running back is raps. The monsters of the Midway, yeah, they can exist. I think they're on their way. But don't get that misconstrued, baby. The monsters of the Midway need to be the offense. Throughout the entirety of their career, Doug Atkins, Mike Singletary, you name guys like Doug Plank and Otis Wilson. We can do it all day. Shoot. We can name guys up the ass. Richard Dent, Brian Urlacher, Khalil Mack, Montez Sweat. All these defensive-minded guys who you look at and say, we are the monsters of the Midway. But how many of them are offensive players? That's the problem. The monsters of the Midway need to be DJ Moore, need to be Cole Kmet, need to be Justin Fields, Darnell Wright. I'd say Tevin Jenkins, but his back can't hold up. No, I'm playing. Let me stop. Sorry, T. You didn't mean to catch that strike. Yeah, I mean, come on, we got to catch up. The tide has changed, but the motherfuckers swimming are the same. And you're going to drown if you don't change. We're going to continue to drown. Now, you could say, hey, let's hire Eric Bieniemy. You could say, let's hire, Ben Johnson. But they're not taking those jobs. Maybe Eric takes one. Maybe Eric's an OC again. I would like to see Eric Bieniemy get a head coaching opportunity this offseason. No doubt about it. Yeah, I think it's more than deserved. You stuck the man with fucking with Ron Rivera, you know what I mean? He tried his darndest. He tried his best. But yeah, man, we're gonna remain live on TikTok, but I appreciate you guys tuning into the live on Facebook and YouTube. If you guys are new here, smack that follow button. It definitely does help us out a lot. We're gonna continue to drop news as the Chicago Cubs have agreed to terms with Shota Imanaga. We're gonna be on an impending physical on Thursday, likely Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think it's been released that it's Thursday, but it said midweek, so anywhere from today to tomorrow. But with that being said, man, again, like I said, Luke Getsy has been fired as offensive coordinator of the Chicago Bears. Matt Eberflus will be returning for the 2024 season. We will see what happens with the NFL draft. We have the number 1 and number 9 overall pick in the first round, all the money in the world. But again, we got to figure out what's going on with QB1 first and foremost. Before anything, I'll check you guys out later. This is Mike on the Mic, a.k.a. The Shy Kid. You are listening to Mike on the Mic podcast. Peace.